boxer's stance.
Yeah. Looks like more of a boxer, too.
Yeah, he has those long arms. He's got a longer reach than Nault has. Nault's got to get pretty close to tie up with him. Buckner snaps his head down, messes with his headgear a little bit, but didn't do any good. And now Nault repays the favor and basically jerks Buckner's headgear right off his head. And we're going to have an equipment timeout. 53 seconds left in the first period. 1-0, Buckner's.
We're in the second period.
Or second period.
Got an escape by Buckner.
You're right. Buckner's ahead 1-0.
Like you said, them scoreboards are hard to see.
47, 46, 45. Again, Nault's messing with Buckner's head. I don't know if he's trying to pull his cap down over his eyes or what. Buckner goes for Prescott. Little throw by, it wasn't there. Neither one of those guys willing to commit to taking a shot. Both of them trying to keep it upper body. Right there in the middle of the mat. Just a lot of hand fighting and head fighting. 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds. Buckner's ahead 1-0. Tries another snap down. But Nault holds on to his wrist, so he wasn't able to get the front headlock like he wanted to. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. That's the end of the period. Buckner's ahead 1-0 going into the third period, and it's going to be his choice. So Nault's going to choose down.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rob Hastings didn't go down between rounds and move some of them scoreboards. He used to do that every year. He'd sneak down there between rounds and
turn him just
walk by one and turn it a little bit just so we could see it right.
Well, if he's listening right now, I wish he'd go over there to mat 2 and maybe catch this mat 4 as well. So Nault tries to get away. The whistle blows. 1:50 left in the period. Buckner's got a lot of pressure on him. Holy cow, Nault's head's down, his shoulders down. Buckner tries to pick his arm. He puts him over on his back. Sort of a barbed wire action, but he didn't get him past a 90-degree angle, so he didn't get any back points. Oh, yeah. Now he circles around back behind him to get that 2-on-1.
Buckner's got a lot of leverage with that long body, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's got a lot of strength. He's very deceiving. Now he goes for a cradle. It's a cheap cradle.
Standing.
He's got those long arms, and he's got the cradle. He's just going to have to be careful not to allow Nault to reach up and grab his head. But Nault's got such strong legs, he was able to kick his arms apart. Broke the grip. Now Buckner pulls him back down again. Man, that was physical. All he had was his waist and his wrist, and he just jerked him around, turned 180 degrees around. He's got Nault's arm back behind his back. His right arm is back there like a hammerlock. And there's a blood timeout. That's exactly what you don't want when you're ahead 1-0, and you got a guy laying on his belly.
Yep.
And there's 50 seconds left. Nonetheless, they stop it. They're going to try to put a new plug in Buckner. That messes with the tempo of the match too.
It does.
Sometimes it doesn't just get the ref out of sync. It gets you out of sync. It can get your opponent out of sync. It gets the fans out of sync. And if you're in the lead or you have something going good, it's dangerous to have those timeouts.
It gives the other wrestler a little breather, and some of them that are a little more out of shape need that.
Yep.
Sterling Tigers fans, be sure to set your dial to 105.7 KPMX, home of Sterling High School sports. Listen to live play-by-play of Sterling Tiger sports on 105.7 KPMX.
Okay, Nault's set. He's down. Buckner loads on the right side. They're facing us. There's the whistle. Buckner chops his arms, got a deep waist, breaks Nault down to his belly, but Nault does a little sit-out, little coffee grinder action, tries to get away, but it didn't work. Buckner keeps control of his wrists. He's got his weight up really far forward. He's clear up on his shoulders. He's got to be careful not to get too high. He's got another cheap cradle locked up. Nault stood up. He's got a cheap cradle. He goes for the suicide. He's got Nault on his back. Nault's able to kick it free, but not before Buckner gets 2 near fall points, and now Buckner's ahead 3-0 with 19 seconds left in the third period.
Well, that's a pretty big chance to take when you're ahead 1-0 on that suicide.
It sure is, but you know, he had his arm. His arm was down in between his bodies. Nault didn't have it up over his head, so he must have known he was safe. It's enough to give anybody else a heart attack, though. That's the end of the match. Buckner wins 3-0 over Joseph Nault, the 25-12 junior from Hotchkiss. And that's going to wrap up our consolation matches this evening. So